Hey, this is Alex Yoder with Dorman Real Estate Management and Pro Tip Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. And today we are going to talk about some flooring options other than carpet. Last week we talked about carpet. Today we're going to talk about sort of hard surface flooring options for a rental property. And keep in mind, as I'm talking about these things, I'm talking about it from a rental perspective, a landlord perspective. Now, really you have several options, and it's very difficult to cover all of this in what I try to do in about 5 to 6 minutes because I don't like these videos to be too long. So I'm going to go talk really fast. I'm not going to cover necessarily everything, but I want to give you some general information about kind of what to know. Now, first of all, when you're looking to do flooring, people will ask me, okay, should I be putting in luxury vinyl plank? Should I be putting in a laminate product like a Pergo product? Or should I be putting in like a roll down vinyl or tile or hardwood floors? And really the answer to those questions mainly have to do with your position as a landlord, right? Because if you're going to be renting out your property for 3 years versus somebody who's looking to buy and hold for 10 to 15 years, what makes sense from an investment standpoint is going to be different, right? If I'm going to be, again, renting it out for 2 or 3 years, I'm not going to go put in the most expensive hard flooring. If I'm doing it for 10 to 15 years, now I know, okay, I'm going to save money, over what could be several tenants turning over in less wear on that particular flooring. So I'm considering all of that in my decision. So I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm just going to give you an idea of what these products are good for and what roughly they will cost to have installed. So first of all, just so you can have some comparison, when you're putting in around a 30 grade or a 30 ounce carpeting, which I recommended last week, you're going to pay somewhere around $20-ish installed per square yard. So $20-ish per square yard. If you go put in a product that's like a vinyl, a roll down vinyl, you're going to spend a little bit more. You may spend around $30 or so, maybe 25 to 30 per square yard. Now, usually the vinyl product itself is actually cheaper than carpet in most cases. However, the install for that vinyl is more expensive because there's more prep work involved in vinyl than there is carpet. Now, just to give you a little bit of history on vinyl, what you're going to buy today is a thicker, more padded, what's called a floating vinyl or a self-releasing adhesive vinyl versus what they used to do, which was just straight up glue down. And the reason for that, the reason that straight up glue down has been phased out is that removing it was like impossible if you had to remove it. But also there's a lot of floor prep required because it was so thin it showed any imperfections. So now you're having to put underlayment into the property before you glue that down, and now your labor cost is super high to install that vinyl. So that's been phased out. Now you have this floating stuff, which is pretty good. However, the floating stuff tears more easily. So you're not going to want to use this floating vinyl, even if it's like a pretty hardwood floor pattern. You're not going to want to use that except for maybe in the kitchen or the bathrooms. You put a couch on there, it'll tear for sure. And even with refrigerators, you need to be really careful as you're pulling those out. You probably notice on a lot of properties, if you're investor owners and you're going to buy, you see tears right by the refrigerator because it's a self-releasing adhesive, meaning that stuff can be pulled up. However, the adhesive somewhat holds it down from moving too much. So that's just something to know. That can be an option. What a lot of people were doing for a while was a Pergo product, which is actually a brand name, but Pergo is a laminate product. And that is a particle board, effectively a particle board product with a laminated surface, laminated finish. And it's a click product, it's a tongue and groove product that's very easy to install and is pretty durable from a wear standpoint. It is pretty brittle. It's very hard and brittle, meaning you drop something on it, you're going to get a gouge probably. It's not impervious, even though that's what they told us when it first came out. It's not impervious. But the biggest problem with it, and the reason that Pergo is kind of phasing out as a product, is that it's very susceptible to moisture. You put these next to each other in a living room or a kitchen. A kitchen is probably the better example. And you mop a little bit too much with a little bit too much water, or the kids walk on it after they came in from the snow, and you're going to start to see the seams bulging up, right? Because the wood is absorbing the moisture and it has nowhere to go, so it's expanding that product. So that's why this is kind of phasing out, and you'll see a lot of flooring contractors basically giving this stuff away. So maybe it's a good time to pick up this product knowing that it's not going to last forever for you, but I don't know if it's a great option if you're buying and holding. because really, even installed on this product, you're paying about twice as much as what it would cost to install a 30-ounce carpet, even on this product. Again, there may be some providers who are doing it for really cheap and just trying to get rid of it, so maybe you can get a deal. Maybe you go to Home Depot or Lowe's that has something like that. But just know what you're getting into. It's not going to last forever. 5 years, 4 years down the road, you're going to start to see separation or puckering on the seams, and you're going to probably wish you didn't put it in. Now, if you're putting it in, you're selling in 3 years, shoot, maybe that's a good option. You know what I mean? Now, the next thing is what's called a luxury vinyl plank or a luxury vinyl tile. It's the same thing. The only difference is the shape. The luxury vinyl plank looks like this. Oh. It looks like this, okay? This is a luxury vinyl tile, okay? And this differs in cost. You're going to spend a little bit more than you would on a laminate product. Instead of like around $40 a square yard installed, maybe you'll be at 45 to 60 installed. But it is so much more durable. It's not a wood-based product, okay? So the moisture, it's not going to care about. There was actually a sample in the flooring, in the Carpet Exchange flooring contractor that I went to today, sitting in a bucket of water for the last 5 years, and it looks exactly the same. That's the beauty of it. It's very durable in terms of moisture. If it has to be repaired, you can easily click out a panel and click it back in. Now, if it's in the middle of a room, there's a way they can do it where they just cut around a couple of the seams and leave one tongue and groove edge, and they can pop the one out and pop this one in and glue it down. So it's not too difficult to repair. It's very durable. It is not cheap though. I know I said roughly the price point. It is not cheap, okay? Especially if you go with a cork-based product that's thicker, in theory is better at handling. If you drop a bowling ball on the floor, it's going to absorb that as opposed to being thinner and being more brittle and breaking. So this is what's becoming really popular. It looks very nice. And also, again, it lasts, in terms of moisture, it lasts forever, really. However, it can still get scratched and torn and damaged. You go to these flooring contractors, they'll tell you this stuff is impervious and it'll last forever. That's not the case. It can get scratched. And the thickness of the top layer will determine how easy it is to get damaged. Okay, so you want to know the product that you're buying, how thick, and there's a bunch of different options, how thick that top layer is of the product. This is actually what the luxury vinyl product is. The clear layer, the pattern. You have the solid surface here, the middle of it, and then this is the padded base. And you'll notice that it has a little bit more of a bounce to it too when you're walking on it versus the Pergo product. So I can't tell you what way to go, but that's what you should know. Now, you might be thinking, well, what about tile or traditional hardwood floors? Popular options, very low wear on those two options, and they last a really long time. However, they're way more expensive. You're looking at paying probably $80 a yard or more to do tile or to do hardwood floors. So now you're spending 4 times the amount of carpet to put in hardwood floors. I don't know if that makes sense. I think your best option is somewhere in the middle or simply doing carpeting, but that is personal preference and depends on your personal situation and how long you're planning on keeping your properties. So in all cases, before you spend thousands of dollars replacing flooring, make sure you're talking to an expert, getting all the information, and talk to more than just one. And when I say expert, I'm not just talking about a flooring contractor. I'm talking about talking to a property management company or a real estate agent who has a lot of experience in flooring and can tell you, in their opinion, in their subjective opinion, how long these things can last and kind of what your best options are. So anyway, that's a brief touch on solid surface flooring. Alex Yoder, Dorman Real Estate Management, Pro Tip Tuesday. That's all for today. Stay warm and have a great week. We'll see you.